Joining me right now on Kumite TV is featherweight prospect TJ Brown. What's going on, TJ?
What's up, man? Just closing up a long Sunday, man, but glad to be here with you.
Thank you so much. Now, Sunday. You're training on Sundays. Usually that's rest day
Hey,
for most people.
no days off, baby. No days off.
Like what are you doing on Sunday?
So we had Muay Thai this morning with my Muay Thai instructor, followed by wrestling. We did some simulated wrestling rounds, and then I just finished up getting a little extra cardio, some Tabatas, trying to get this weight down. Man, I'm a monster 145 or so. I got to stay on the cardio, keep my weight down.
Tabata, man. That is hardcore stuff right there, Tabata.
No fighter likes Tabatas. I'm here to tell you, if they're doing them right. Anyways,
Let's talk about your team, man. Westside Fight Team. You've been with them for years. Talk about the first day. The first day you arrived at that gym.
okay, cool. So the first day was about 8 years ago. They had two different locations. They had the Little Rock location as well as one in Bryant. I actually started the one in Bryant, a little smaller area. I was down there with okay. So my first experience, I did jujitsu, gi jujitsu, and there was this kid. He still trains our gym. His name's Zach Thompson. He's about 100 pounds soaking wet. And this 100 pound kid went to jump on me and choke me out. And man, here I am coming off college football. I'm pretty athletic, and this kid chokes me out. I'm like, man, I got to learn this stuff. So man, that was day one at Westside MMA.
From that point on, what did you start off with? Did you start off with jujitsu or was it something else? Were you striking
So I
first?
actually, yeah, so I actually boxed a little bit growing up. I did some amateur boxing. When I found Westside MMA, they have a great jiu-jitsu program as well as a good boxing and now a good Muay Thai program. But at the time, it was predominantly jiu-jitsu with kickboxing and boxing as well.
Throughout the years, with Westside, you've been through the ups and downs. Who has stuck with you?
That's a great question, man. I started out as an amateur 10-0. Everybody around here is like, man, you're the next big thing, this and that. And then my first pro fight, I broke my hand and then broke it again, and at that point in time, I suffered my first loss, and there were a lot of people to jump off the bandwagon, I guess you'd say. But man, my coach is Matt Hamilton, Rolly Delgado, and my fiance, I think she just walked by a minute ago. They've been there since day one, and man, I got a lot of love for them, man, and I'm glad to have them on my side.
Definitely, man. Now, with Westside, man, you guys are in Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas.
Yeah.
You don't really hear about many guys coming out of that area. What does it mean for you to be coming out that area and you're homegrown?
Yeah, man, homegrown, man. I like how you said that. Yeah, man. With us coming from a smaller, from Arkansas, like, again, you don't hear a lot from that, man. It does kind of let me carry a chip on my shoulder, man. I carry a sense of pride in myself, and I do have something to prove, man. With that being said, though, we have great boxing down here. Some of the best boxers around. Jermaine Taylor came out of a gym right by our place. We got great boxing. We've got a D1 wrestling program here now. In our jiu-jitsu, we got Rolly Delgado, black belt, who brings in several Brazilians, down for us to train with. And man, we've got a lot to show the world, man. And August 27th, I'm going to show everybody.
When I think of Little Rock, I don't know if you're old enough to remember, but there was a show on HBO.
Banging in the rock.
Yeah, back in
Yeah.
Little Rock. That's
Yeah,
that's my
man.
first exposure to Little
Bro, that's
Rock.
real.
What was
Yeah.
that real? Is it the real
Dude,
deal at
that's
Little Rock?
real. Yeah, so still today, man, you have to. It depends what area of Little Rock you're in, man. To be honest with you, there's good spots and bad spots, but I won't lie, you got to be careful around some of these places, man. So you got to be ready at all times.
Were you able to stay away from that scene, or growing up, did you kind of get sucked into it a little bit, but you got yourself
Um,
out?
so so to be honest, so I grew up in near Pine Bluff, and Pine Bluff is also known to be a little bit rougher than Little Rock. But man, to be honest, I was kind of in sports my whole life, and I owe a lot to sports and my coaches for kind of keeping me out of that stuff. There are times I've drifted off, made some bad mistakes, but for the most most part, man, the ability to stay in sports and have some good coaches that mentored me, man, I owe my life to them, man. So I've got a lot of great friends that I can't say the same about. I got love for them, but they just weren't as fortunate as me when it comes to making the right decisions and ending up where we are today.
All right, man. Let's talk about your last fight a couple months ago. Was that like the highlight of your career right there?
Oh, 100%, man. I mean, it was Sportscenter top 10, number 4. I landed that head kick 2 fights before that too, down in Oklahoma. So, and I got to show much love to my Muay Thai coach, Bill Barton. He showed me that head kick. And, it just complements my good boxing. The guys get worried about my boxing, worried about my hands, and then boom, I lay that shin across the neck. So it was definitely the highlight of my career, man. And it's really what gave me the exposure, I think, to put me where I am today.
That exposure leads you to Dana White's Contender Series, August 27th. You're facing Dylan Lockard. Now, Dylan, is it someone that you've known, or is it a new name to you?
It's definitely a new name to me. However, I did beat his teammate Peter Barrett a few fights ago on Cage Titans in Boston. I went to his hometown, got a 3rd round finish by arm triangle. So I don't know Dylan per se, but I know he trained with Pete, and Pete was a good cat. I got nothing bad to say about Pete. He's a tough guy. So I'm just another small Arkansas kid going to go beat up another New England guy.
When you watch his tape, when you watch his previous fights, what do you think of his skill set?
So I think fundamentally he's good, man. He's not lacking in a lot of areas. His boxing is just good enough for me to pick apart and counterpunch. And I think he's got some little bit of wrestling experience, But like I said, man, I'm in here wrestling with D2, D1 wrestlers all the time. And just to be honest, there's nothing huge that sticks out. I'm not taking him lightly by any means, but at the end of the day, I have more pro wins than he has career fights, amateur and professional. So I'm looking to use my experience, go in there and put him away.
Yeah, you can't look at anybody lightly, especially with this opportunity, man. You can't go in there with a big head, right? Because if you do,
100%.
You've seen it happen already during this season where the huge favorites have been upset.
That's the
major upsets.
Game, right? That's the fight game, and that's why, like I said, no days off. I'm in there today, busting my butt, man. It's this success didn't come overnight, and it's not by accident, man. I've been in here grinding. I'm just glad to finally have the opportunity to show it.
Training camp, are you going outside of Westside to do other things, or are you just doing it right in Westside MMA?
So Westside is most of my training, but however, I have went down to Saxon's Muay Thai down in Dallas. I spent about a week there. I was also at Extreme Couture last week while I was in Vegas, and I trained there in the PI. And then there's some smaller gyms around Little Rock, like the Off the Chain in Hot Springs. I train with those guys. They have great striking down there, and we're just all together. A lot of guys in Arkansas have come together to help me in this camp, man, and I'm ready to represent.
Yeah, man, it's good to see that, man, where everybody's coming together to help you, one guy, and then that will kick the doors open for everybody else.
That's right. You're exactly right, man. You're exactly right.
Now, when you went to the PI, were you shocked? Were you in awe? What is this place?
Oh my, dude! So all my friends have been asking back home, dude. I've honestly never seen something like that before, and I mean the facilities were top notch, and I mean they really take care of the fighters, and it just really shows how far MMA is coming, man. And I love seeing it, and also not to mention I'm sitting here working out, and there's Henry Cejudo over there. There's Thiago Santos. And I was about to go up there and say hi and get a picture. My coach was like, "Hey, man, give yourself a couple of years. They want your autograph." So I thought that was kind of a cool little saying, man. But the PI it's amazing. I've never seen something like it.
Yeah, it's good to I think the UFC does a good job of giving you guys a little taste of what it can be as a UFC fighter, because I was recently talking to Todd Duffy, right? And he's been at the PI. He hasn't fought in.
He was there.
Yeah, giant, massive dude, right?
Monster, man.
Yeah.
Monster.
And he's coming back after 4 years of like injuries and, you know, other things that happened in his life. And he was talking about how the PI has like it, if he was going to get the treatment outside, you know, like where he was living, it would cost him like $2,000 a month, but he's
Yeah.
free at the PI, which is
Yeah, man.
huge.
It is huge, man. And it's great to see what they're doing for the fighters, man. And that's crazy you said that he was there training in the PI while I was there. That's cool.
Yeah. Now going back, man, you go to Vegas, you get that finish, you know, like you've been doing for the last few fights. You know, what is the plan, you know, in the UFC?
Oh man, you know, I go out here and I get this win. My buddy, you know, that trains with me, Bryce Thug Nasty Mitchell. He's from here in Arkansas. He's in the UFC. He's fighting on the October card. And man, if I get this win, I'll tell him straight up, man, put me on the card with my boys so we can go out there and represent. So I stay busy. You know, like this is like my fifth fight this year, you know, including a kickboxing match. You know, I like to stay busy, man. And let's as long as I got this momentum, man, let's keep running, you know. So my plan would be after I go and win this fight is, you know, get another one.
Definitely, man. Well, August 27th, Dana White's Contender Series, Las Vegas, Nevada. Thank you, TJ, for the time, and good luck on the fight and your future, man.
Thank you so much for having me, man. You're great. Thank you.